real short video on multiplying integers. We're not looking at models, we're just looking at the rules for multiplying integers. So here are the multiplication rules. The product of two integers with different signs is negative. So this is the negative rule. So different signs. So a positive times a negative is a negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. And so if they're different, it's negative. Then if the product of two integers with the same sign is positive, so just like you've always known, a positive times a positive is a positive, but a negative times a negative, the opposite of the opposite, is positive. Negative times negative is positive. So let's look at this, and we would do this. We could look at just the signs and then do the math, or do the math at the same time. So I've got a positive times a negative, so my answer is going to be negative, and 4 times 7 is 28. And I've got a positive times a negative, so my answer is negative, and 8 times 7 is 56. And I've got a positive times a positive, so it's just 27. And I have a negative times a negative, so it's 1 times 8 is 8. Because those are both two negatives make a positive. And then you might see them in a word problem. With negatives, it's usually altitude or temperature or stock market, prices falling, that sort of thing. A dolphin dives from the surface of the water at a rate of 3 feet per second. So rate of falling in the water, diving down 3 feet per second. And where will the dolphin be in relation to the surface after 5 seconds? So times 5 seconds. And so a negative times a positive is a negative. And so he would be 15 feet below the surface. That's the way it works in word problems. Now, there's a really cool way to help you remember these, but they only work for multiplication and division. Don't use it for addition and subtraction. So you've got a smiley face, 2 positives, smile, positive. 2 negatives, smile, positive. A black eye, negative, frown, negative. So the other way you can do it, my favorite, is the tic-tac-toe. And you put your positives diagonally. That's the way it works. And then you fill in the rest with negative signs. Now watch this. A positive times a negative is a negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. A positive times a positive is a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. So this can help you remember, but only for multiplication and division.